It's layoff season again, or at least it is in the gaming industry. And no, your mind isn't playing tricks with you. This is a new video about new layoffs that are happening around a software company that used to be owned by Embracer, at least until the last few days, 3 or 4 days ago anyway. But it was amazing to see stories back when Kotaku was actually covering gaming that covered these layoffs in a very open way. Just the sheer volume of people that were losing their jobs. In fact, this story came out of Kotaku on February 28th, or at least it was updated then, with 8,800 video game layoffs have been announced. You had PlayStation, Sega, Microsoft, etc., etc. Is anybody surprised by this? No. This is an industry that's been slowly collapsing for a while, and now they seem to be pursuing collapse at a more aggressive rate of their own volition. Speaking of volition, they're gone. But it's not just Kotaku that's been covering this, it's everybody that covers the gaming industry, and all of them have a different story to tell. You have questions like, what's driving the flood of layoffs in the video game industry? Well, DEI, ESG, and all of the other garbage that gets thrown into gaming, bringing in outside narrative designers to comply with Microsoft Xbox's new rules. I mean, Spencer put the rules in place, so you would think that Microsoft would be relatively safe, right? Right? No. Yeah, the Times of India story covered on March 28th, let's see, a couple days ago, saying that Phil Spencer reveals the reason for mass layoffs at Xbox. Yes, your own rules. Your own garbage rules. You're losing people at an incredible rate. And in January, it looks like you lost a huge number of people, a ton of talent, according to the story, about 1,900 employees from your gaming divisions. Divisions, not one, not two, divisions. Not to mention the fact that the future of Xbox seems to be in doubt, and people are really irritated now as Xbox loses more ground to PS5. I have a feeling that PlayStation won't have to aggressively pursue a new generation of console because Xbox may just play themselves out of people's interests. But it doesn't stop there because, as we mentioned before, Sega had already laid off a ton of people, and now Sega Europe, as of the 28th of March, it seems like a magic date in history, doesn't it? But they're laying off, or have laid off, 240 workers and selling off Company of Heroes developer Relic. Why? Well, Sega of America workers locked in union protections with a ratified contract. Unions may not help you very much, folks. But truly, what else is happening out there? Well, just days after purchase, Gearbox Studio hit with layoffs again. Lost Boys Interactive, part of Gearbox, and the ones that worked on games like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and the new Diablo 4, have been laid off. And a former producer said on LinkedIn that the layoffs affected a sizable portion of Lost Boys Interactive that had employed more than 400 people. It looks like the Washington State Act notice says there's 125 workers that are affected company-wide. That's a big portion of your developer. But the full story's over here. Gearbox layoffs hit staff hours after being sold by Embracer, and it looks like a large number of folks are saying goodbye after being purchased by Take-Two Interactive. Along with countless others, I've been laid off at Gearbox, says former PR manager Jennifer Locke. It really was a dream come true working on this team, and I'm incredibly grateful for my time here. Talk about somebody who knows how to get their own PR out there in a good way and maybe get another job. But, of course, many other people aren't quite as deft at handling that. A senior user research investigator, whatever that is, also posted on the platform saying, "I just lost my job." Okay. You should probably try to promote yourself a little bit. What is it you actually do, and who else can you actually help if this is the way you want to go about things? Following the exciting news of Take-Two Interactive and Gearbox Entertainment merger last night, I, like many others, received the unfortunate news this morning that my position will no longer be required. This is from Online Engagement. Chris Harada posted on LinkedIn. I guess he's former director. All right. After 3 incredible years at Gearbox, my journey with the company has concluded. Yeah. All of these things are out there in the world, and you have to ask yourself a question. Why? Usually, mergers and acquisitions, if they're going to be layoffs, those are usually done ahead of time. Those are not usually conducted after the acquisition, at least not for a period of time when you've had the opportunity to evaluate the redundancies. Because, well, there are going to be some. It's going to be redundancies across the board anytime there's a massive acquisition. So you usually see layoffs that happen afterwards. But having this happen quarter after quarter, year after year, that's a little alarming. And Microsoft seems to be the most regular about this, laying off giant portions of their gaming staff every single year. Are they ramping back up after they lay people off? Or is this just a continued sloughing off of the things they don't want? Is it being done in the name of DEI? Now, that's the question to ask, and one that I think we should be paying attention to, because I think that may be what's happening. We're watching in real time mega corporations like Disney is gradually reduce the number of white people that work for them while increasing the others. Well, how do you do that? You don't just hire people to hire them, do you? Don't you have to get rid of the people that, you are trying to replace? I guess so. And if that's based on racial numbers and not something that's, well, a function of business profitability, isn't that illegal? Now, I'm not suggesting that Gearbox or Microsoft or any of these other companies like Take-Two and so on and so forth are doing that for that purpose, but we already know that they're hiring narrative groups and things like that to come in and, well, do that for them in a way by replacing the people in-house that were doing that with groups that are more diverse. At a certain point, somebody's going to have to lose an awful lot of money in a civil rights suit before all these companies clean up their act. I'm hoping it's Disney, but Microsoft would suffice. That would work for me. How about you? Anyway, as more and more of these gaming studios say goodbye to all of these talented people, where are they going? Or are they really getting rid of the people that either weren't talented or just had a make-work job in the first place? The economy is not very good, and, well, you've got to cut back somewhere. You have to continue to make the ridiculous profits that are required by Wall Street. Or do you? Do you continue to be a reliable company, or do you continue for the non-ending growth cycle that eventually will lead to your demise? Because that's what's been happening. When you step into the fray to compete with somebody outside of your expertise, you're taking a huge risk in business nowadays. Look at what happened with all of the studios and entertainment companies that jumped into the streaming game thinking they could compete with Netflix. Boy, were they wrong. I know I've posted a lot of questions here. I've provided a lot of information, and yet it's all interrelated. Entertainment in any form is in big trouble. How do we fix it? How do we keep people employed? What are the new metrics that are going to make businesses sustainable, profitable, and keep a significant employment base? Those are some good questions. I'm curious what your answers might be. So let me know down in the comments section below. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.